The mortuary Temple of Hatshepsut, located in Deir el-Bahri, Egypt, was built during the 15th century BCE. It was, and still is, considered one of the most significant structures of the New Kingdom period. As a mortuary temple, it was dedicated to the posthumous worship of Hatshepsut, one of the female pharaohs in history, and served as a resting place for her mummified remains. The temple complex, consisting primarily of a colonnaded terrace structure flanked by statues of Hatshepsut and other deities, is a prime example of the elegant and impressive architectural style prevailing during the 18th century. A significant feature of the mortuary temple of Hatshepsut was its location, situated on the western bank of the Nile River and situated at the base of the Theban Hills. This strategic placement, alongside the nearby mortuary temple of Mentuhotep II, served to highlight the grandeur and importance of the monument. Additionally, its proximity to the Valley of the Kings made it an essential stop for funeral processions passing through this iconic area. As a result, the temple served not only as a place of worship for Hatshepsut, but for many deity figures. The temple also functioned symbolically as a religious link between the living world and the afterlife. As such, the mortuary temple of Hatshepsut not only played a significant role in the religious practices of the time, but also serves as a lasting monument to the architectural and cultural achievements of ancient Egypt. The Temple of Hatshepsut was commissioned by Hatshepsut herself and constructed during the 18th dynasty, known more broadly as the New Kingdom period in Egyptian history, lasting from approximately 1570 BCE to 1075 BCE. This period is renowned for its military conquests, cultural advancements, and prosperous economy, which allowed for monumental construction projects like the mortuary Temple of Hatshepsut to be built. Alongside Hatshepsut's reign, the 18th dynasty witnessed the reigns of two renowned pharaohs, Thutmose II and Thutmose III. Thutmose II, Hatshepsut's nephew, ruled for a brief period before his death, leading to Hatshepsut assuming the throne as a regent for Thutmose III, who was still a child at the time. Later, Thutmose III, likely taking advantage of Hatshepsut's declining influence over the kingdom, reasserted his rule and ultimately buried Hatshepsut's memory, attempting to erase evidence of her reign entirely from history. Throughout the time of Hatshepsut's rule, however, Egypt experienced territorial expansion and became an influential regional power, conquering territories such as Nubia, Palestine, and modern-day Syria. Thus, even with an attempt to destroy its legacy entirely, the mortuary temple stands today as a testament to the grandeur and opulence of the 18th dynasty, showcasing the achievements and artistic capabilities of ancient Egyptian civilization. The mortuary temple of Hatshepsut stands out from other ancient Egyptian art and architecture for several reasons. Firstly, the temple displays a unique and impressive architectural style, blending both traditional elements and innovative features, such as the terrace structure and the use of columns within. The temple's intricate carvings, statues, and bas-reliefs are remarkable for their quality and preservation, often considered among the most intricate and well-preserved in all of Egypt. The temple's design was also groundbreaking, with the incorporation of terraces in an innovative layout that differed from the norm, showcasing an ambitious approach to temple design. The temple is also notable for its unique portrayal of Hatshepsut, featuring a distinctly feminine touch in the imagery and decorations in contrast to how she is often presented. Generally, she was presented as a male in more public statues, paintings, and reliefs. To further highlight the individuality of the temple in the realm of ancient Egyptian art, it's worth noting that the temple is one of the few remaining structures from the 18th dynasty to have survived relatively intact, which adds to its significance and rarity. The temple is distinguished from neighboring temples by its grand architectural design and unique features. Unlike other temples constructed during the 18th dynasty, the Temple of Hatshepsut boasts a terraced structure, blending seamlessly into the surrounding landscape. Additionally, its statues and columned halls exhibit a far more elaborate and refined style than other temples at the time. This reflected Hatshepsut's desires to create a monument that surpassed those of her predecessors. In contrast, other temples from this period, such as those constructed during the reign of Thutmose III, focus more on functionality and less on decorative embellishments. Furthermore, the temple is a prime example of the architectural advancements and artistic sensibilities of the 18th dynasty. Its intricate carvings and statues, both human and animal, display a level of craftsmanship and attention to detail unrivaled by neighboring temples. The use of limestone columns, granite stone blocks, and colorful reliefs also sets the temple aside from other structures of the time, contributing to its iconic status as a marvel of ancient Egyptian architecture. The Temple of Hatshepsut was built to serve as a resting place for the mummified remains and the cult of the deified Hatshepsut. In contrast, most other temples built during the 18th dynasty were dedicated primarily to religious rituals and to the worship of the sun god Ra. Thus, the Temple of Hatshepsut possesses a unique function compared to other neighboring temples, which typically focused on the rites and religious practices of the day. The mortuary cult was a religious practice centered around the veneration of deceased rulers and their divine status. A common belief when it came to Egyptian nobility and their lives, and a central belief to the Egyptian culture when it came to the pharaohs. The cult functioned as a means to ensure the well-being and continued existence of the deceased in their afterlife. Priests who belonged to the cult would perform rituals and offerings like making food and drink sacrifices at the mortuary temple of the deceased ruler. This practice was common across many pharaohs ruled during ancient Egypt's history. The cult played a significant role in the beliefs and practices of religion within ancient Egypt as a whole at the time. The beautiful festival of the valley, also known as the Opet festival, was celebrated in ancient Egypt during the second month of the Nile inundation season, later expanded to an 80-day festival. It was primarily held to honor the god Amun-Ra, the king of the gods, and his connection to the pharaoh. The sanctuary of Amun within the mortuary temple of Hatshepsut was the endpoint of this festival. During the festival, priests carried the statue of Amun in procession from the temple of Amun in the nearby Karnak to the temple of Hatshepsut. The mortuary cult did play a significant role in the festival, whereby the cult focused on the veneration of Hatshepsut in her afterlife and assisted in various aspects of the festival. The festival would have been a vibrant and elaborate celebration, with the procession being the main element. The procession consisted of priests carrying statues of various gods on litters or barges, followed by musicians, dancers, and attendants. The statue of the god Amun in particular was of great importance and carried with great reverence from the temple of Amun in Karnak to the mortuary temple of Hatshepsut, which symbolically marked the union of the two gods, Amun and Hatshepsut. The atmosphere towards the end of the procession would have been a mix of emotions, including joy, reverence, and solemnity. The people would have likely rejoiced in the presence of the gods and the symbolism of the union between Amun and Hatshepsut, but at the same time there would have been a sense of reverence and devotion to the religious significance of the festival. It's important to note that the beautiful festival of the valley was not a somber occasion, but rather a time of celebration and connection to the divine.